All right, let's jump on over to the big stick of this bad boy. So again, they have a driver, they have a wedge, they have a 7-iron. I don't have the wedge, it was sold out. I'm not gonna have it till December, but the thoughts remain the same. We're gonna use the driver. Give me a second, wait for that. I'm gonna use the driver. I'd imagine it's gonna be a lot more difficult. It's gonna probably be just as difficult as 7-iron, if not more, but let's go ahead, set it up, let's give it a try, let's see what it looks like. Give you the same feelings of what I'm doing. We'll go back and forth between my driver and this one and work on it. Using that same stuff that Kurt was talking about. The price on this one, I think, is, I actually don't know. I got this one used, again, because they are all sold out everywhere. It is so difficult to get these things, which has to mean that they are probably really good training aids. I think it's $199. Don't quote me on that. I'll put a price somewhere down there. But let's go ahead and give it a go. The GForce Golf Driver. All right, let's give it a couple of whacks. All right, this thing comes with a really, really nice head cover. Not that that really matters, I guess, as a training aid. But I mean, I guess it's you know, it's nice. You can spend $200 on something. You want it to be nice. And then it's got this big, giant little driver head on it. I think it's a 10 degree. We'll see it right there. But same thing as the other one before. A little bendy shaft. The exact same thing. It's not like a noodle, but it is, again, soft enough to where you can feel that head load. And as you can see, I've already been getting after this one. So let's go ahead and hit a couple of these. Right away, this thing is heavy. I gotta say, this driver is definitely a heck of a different beast than the 7-iron. I can feel the head just drooping a lot more. Let's give a couple whacks. Still leaking it out to the right. Damn, there's just a lot of noise going on out here. We're on a golf course or a construction site? So as you can see, my mess, and this bad boy just squirts off to the right. So let's try to hit it with my regular driver and see what happens. Hitting it straight, but I'm not getting it up.
That's what she said.
There it is. The thing I'm noticing between this and the other driver is this head droops a lot. You can feel that shaft really deflecting down, and you can feel that head really dipping as you start to get through, as you start to get into impact zone. And I actually fatted one right behind just from hitting this down there. So that is definitely a unique feeling with the driver, to say the least. But when you switch back over to my driver, the first few shots hitting it a little bit low because I'm still feeling that droop. But after I get that like smooth transition down, back off to the races. I would say actually the driver for me is a bit easier than the iron themselves. So I'm gonna go back and forth between these. We'll talk about what it feels like, try to really get the most use out of it, just focus on it like I would if I was out here practicing and not filming a video. Let me get after it. Yeah, see, now that's just absolutely pipe. There's that big miss.
Have to avoid 2 bunkers down the left.
I think these two are gonna take a lot longer to get adjusted to, because this is just so much different feeling than this bad boy right here. I mean, it's the best way I can explain it is when you start swinging a driver, and I'm getting hits all over the top of the foot. I mean, we're kind of hitting it in the center. Not too bad. It dips so low when you swing it that it just feels so weird in the transition. I feel like you have to just swing it even slower, or what feels like slower, to get the speed out of it. This was difficult to get my head wrapped around, but usually when something's difficult to get your head wrapped around, that's probably because it's bringing out even more flaws of what you're doing. So let me go back and forth between these two again. Now, that's a pull cut, which all I'm doing is just ripping that one straight to the inside. I would say the driver for sure is definitely, it's extremely difficult to use, but that's probably an indication of how pulley and how much more I have to go as far as my transition with the driver. But overall, 7-iron, I mean, like, I'd recommend everybody starts there. It's a lot easier to get along with. It's a little bit more palatable. It's a lot easier to understand. It's a lot easier for you to transition to it. I think that most people would probably have a lot more success with this one. This is just an indication to show like how much more better my own transition could be with the driver, because this thing is definitely hard to hit. So I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time and watch you have me hit these terrible shots. But overall, the GForce swing trainers, I don't have the wedge, but I have to imagine the wedge is pretty good because I've used something very similar. 7-iron is a definite go-to. The driver here, a little more tougher to use, but that's probably a good indication because I'd have to imagine that this is going to help as I continue to work with this. But overall, I mean, like the build quality, let me zoom in on these bad boys here. Build quality, I mean, like this is a very well-built club. Like the crown of this is very nice. It's got this like nice little like edge marker up on here. Like this is like, if this were a regular driver head that I was purchasing, like out of a box of like $300 clubs or $400 clubs, I'd probably definitely like this. But I'm gonna hit a couple more of these and finish up my day and head back home, and then we'll talk a little bit more about my final thoughts. All right, I'm back home. Just forgot to put the final touches on the video, but all in all, I just wanted to say that they are very good training aids. Like, they're sold out everywhere, so I would recommend giving it a try. If you have trouble with the driver, if you have trouble with wedges, if you have trouble with 7-irons or just irons in general, tempo, the GForce swing trainers are one of the best training aids that I've used to really get tempo underway, and I would highly recommend them. That's really all I got for you. As always, thank you very much for watching the channel. Deuces, people. Let's keep it moving.